But you still have a very good idea of how the economy would look like and how human society would look like in the 1050s or the 1060s. You know that most people will still be farmers. You know it's a good idea to teach your kids how to harvest wheat, how to bake bread, how to ride a horse, how to shoot and bow and arrow. These things will still be necessary in 30 years. If you now look 30 years to the future, nobody has any idea what kind of skills will be needed. If you think, for instance, okay, this is the age of AI, computers, I will teach my kids how to code computers. Maybe in 30 years, humans no longer code anything because AI is so much better than us at writing code. So what should we focus on? I would say the only thing we can be certain about is that 30 years from now, the world will be extremely volatile. It will keep changing at an ever rapid pace.
Do you think this is going to increase the amount of conflict? Because I watched a video on your YouTube channel where you said the return of wars.
Yeah. That's one of the dangers that there is, and we see it all over the world now. Like 10 years ago, we were in the most peaceful era in human history. And unfortunately, this era is over. We are now in a new era of wars and potentially of imperialism. And we are seeing it all over the world with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, now with the war in the Middle East, Venezuela and Guyana, some East Asia, war is back on the table. It's not just because of the rapid changes and the upheavals they cause. It's also because, 10 years ago, we had a global order, the liberal order, which was far from perfect, but it still kind of regulated relations between nations, between countries, based on an idea, on the liberal worldview, that despite our national differences, all humans share certain basic experiences and needs and interests, which is why it makes sense for us to work together to diffuse conflicts and to solve our common problems. It was far from perfect, but it did create the most peaceful era in human history. Then this order was repeatedly attacked, not only from outside, from forces like Russia or North Korea or Iran that never accepted this order, but also from the inside, even from the United States, which was the architect to a large extent of this order, with the election of Donald Trump, which says, I don't care about any kind of global order. I'd only care about my own nation. And you see this way of thinking, that I only care about the interests of my nation more and more around the world. Now, the big question to ask is, if all the nations think like that, what regulates the relations between them? And there was no alternative. Nobody came up and said, okay, I don't like the liberal global order, I have a better suggestion for how to manage relations between different nations. They just destroyed the existing order without offering an alternative. And the alternative to order is simply disorder. And this is now where we find ourselves.
Do you think there's more wars on the way?
Yes. Unless we reestablish order, there will be more and worse wars coming in the next few years in more and more areas around the world. You see defense budgets all over the world skyrocketing.